Hey guys, welcome to Brian's Man Cave. For today's flick pick, I'm doing a movie called Backdraft. I just actually watched this movie again, and I've seen it a couple of times. I don't remember how many times I've seen it, but I was quite surprised on how many scenes that I kind of remembered as I was watching it. It's one of those movies where it's like it just gets ingrained in you because of I know this is not like this is Hollywood. Like it's a Ron Howard film, and it says in the beginning that it was written by a firefighter who actually came up with the idea and the storyline. But the fact that it was written by a firefighter tells you that he knows his stuff. He knows what he was talking about. Now the movie itself, it's about a backdraft. Well, just to give you some insight, a backdraft is pretty much when the fire gets sucked in through the air, and then say you open a door or something and it just blows right out the door, or the air just, I don't know, there's a lot of technical terms for it. I'm not I don't really know all this stuff myself. Like, I've seen the movie a few times, so I'm trying to explain it the best I can, but I mean, it is a little bit technical the way it works. They do explain it in the movie, but anyways, the plot is that a serial arsonist is using this technique to murder people, essentially. And the reason why he's using the backdraft method is because what happens is when the person opens the door, the fire will blaze out, like pretty much blow anything in front of the door. But because of the air pressure and the suction or whatever, it actually snuffs the fire out at the same time, so it doesn't blow up the entire building. The fire still spreads, but it does give enough time for, say, if there's other people in the building to get rescued or get out of the building. So there's a few scenes where you actually see a victim person who essentially walks up to a door, like be it the house or in a building or somewhere. There's a few different scenes. And they actually open the door, and you can hear the suction. It makes like a swoosh sound. And I'm saying suction too much. But you can hear that, and then explosion. And so, actually, a lot of the beginning of the movie, it's more based on just how firefighters deal with everyday problems. So even though this whole arson thing is going on, even though these people are killed, you don't really get to that in the beginning of the movie. It really just focuses on the lives of the firefighters. Now, the stars in this movie, you got Kurt Russell, who's the main star, one of my favorite actors from like Tombstone and a few other great movies, and you have William Baldwin, one of the Baldwin guys, and you have Donald Sutherland makes an appearance in the movie, and then a bunch of other characters. I'm not too familiar with the rest of the actors, but essentially what happens is Kurt Russell and William Baldwin. Kurt Russell's character's name is Stephen. William Baldwin's name is Brian, like mine. And they're brothers, and their father was a fireman, and he gets killed in the line of duty. And so the other two kind of follow in the footsteps. But Kurt Russell, being the older brother, has to look after his younger brother. So it's one of those kind of stories where it's always, it's like the bond between the brother and the little brother, and you kind of dive into their lives a little bit, and just some of the hardships that come in between, having this one brother who's more of a outgoing, like Kurt Russell's character is more outgoing. He's the guy that runs into the fire head first and doesn't even put on his mask or anything. He's got the axe in his head. He's just busting down doors, and William's character is sitting in the background, kind of like, oh my God, like there's fire. He has that want, he has that drive, but he just doesn't have that extra kick that Russell's character has. So he learns pretty early in the movie that maybe it's not for him. And so there's a lot of that emotional piece that goes on between the two characters, and just going through even just the other characters in the movie, that how the life of a firefighter, and just watching this movie, you really just start to appreciate all the brave people that actually run into a building when it's on fire. I myself would be the guy running out of the building. You know, I'm not a firefighter, obviously, and I'm not somebody that would think that I could do anything like, you know, if I had to save somebody, maybe. But you know, it's just the bravery it takes for these guys to put their lives at risk and to run into a building full of smoke and full of fire, even with their oxygen masks and their axes and their hoses and whatnot. Just the fact that they can do that on you know, and it's day and night. There's no I'm on break. There's no I go home at 4. You know, that kind of thing, right? It's just that's your life. You're a firefighter, and so watching this kind of movie really brings it, you know, brings it into you. It's just it ingrains in you, and you really appreciate what you see. Now, I'm going to have to say that there was a few scenes that just felt a little bit, I don't know, over the top. A few seemed a little bit odd. Like there's I don't want to give too much of the plot away because I think you should check the movie out for yourselves. But there is a scene, for instance, when Kurt Russell does save a child, and he literally runs into a room that's bellowing with smoke and flames and everything. You almost think he's dead. You think that's it, he's done. And after a little bit of time, he kind of comes out with this child in his arms, and the child is all lively and awake. That I was like, no. I mean, if that was the case, the child probably would be unconscious, if not burned. And it just they kind of go too far into the fact that, you know, he's a hero and he's running out, the child's safe. You know, things like that, little things, but nothing over the top. I mean, the concept of the backdraft and how it gets created, you learn about the arsonist. It's a slow process. And actually, I forgot to mention another big actor in it, Robert De Niro. He plays the fire inspector. So he's got a few parts in the movie that are pretty crucial. Like he kind of comes in and out, but his job is obviously to figure out what caused the fire and to try and figure out, you know, if it was arson, if it was an accident, and you know, that type of thing. Then there's also a political side to it as well. There's a politician who's running for mayor, and he seems to be wrapped up in all of this. And of course, his secretary or his person that works with him is fallen in love with William Baldwin's character. So there's a little bit of that going on as well in the process. Overall, I think the movie, it's a great action-packed movie. It's something you would expect from a Ron Howard film. Ron Howard seems to do really well with his films. Almost all the films that he directs, I kind of like them. So I think that, yeah, I think it's a good film, and I think if you catch it on Netflix or anything like that, it's worth giving it a watch. I just watched it on the Movie Network, the cable package that I have. It's a 1991 film, so it's fairly old, but I think it's still a good film. I think it still holds up today. It's kind of one of those timeless films where it doesn't get lost in you know, the changing of the times, because I think a lot of firefighters today still use the same methods. They still put their lives at risk. There's not a computer that's going to save them, you know. So I think it's a timeless piece, and I think it's going to be a good movie for quite a long time from this point on. Anyways, I hope I convinced you to actually check the movie out. It's really great, and Kurt Russell does a good job acting in it. William Baldwin's okay. Not too big of a fan of him. But, you know, I mean, overall, the movie works. It's a great film. It's fun, a little bit of violence, but, you know, you got to have something in there. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Let me know if you've seen the movie, if you've heard of it. Let me know what you think of, you know, firefighters in general, because I think you got to be one of the bravest people on the planet to do that job. And like I said, the thought of running into a burning building would scare the hell out of me. Anyways, I hope you subscribe. Talk to you later. Thank you for watching Brian's Man Cave, and to all those who have subscribed to my channel, and to all those who like to leave comments. Just as a reminder, I also have a page called Man Cave Connections. This is where you have a chance to show off your own man cave or woman cave, and also look at others. Just simply go to www.briansmancave.com for details, and you'll see a menu item which says Man Cave Connections.